Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. So a lot of you have asked if there are ways to make knives with either no power tools or less power tools or just less tools in general. So today I've decided to try and make a simple little knife. This is going to be an integral knife, just one piece. I'm not going to do an additional handle on this. I'm thinking something along the lines of like a fruit peeling knife, which is going to be really interesting since this is a high carbon file, so it's going to get a really rich patina if I do start using it for peeling fruit. So what I'm going to do is take this knife and I'm going to limit myself to just using my bench grinder, which has a 6-inch bench grinding stone and a 6-inch flap sanding wheel. And to heat treat, I'm just going to be using a toaster oven. So let's get started. So here we are at the grinder. I'm going to start with the grinding wheel and basically rough out the profile of the knife. I'm thinking about taking the tang off of the file, making this portion of the handle about 4.5 inches or so. Of this will become handle, and then this will be the blade. So I'm just going to grind it out and we'll see what happens. And before you start, make sure that you have all personal protective gear, especially eye and lung protection. Since I'm going to be tempering this knife but not hardening it, I need to make sure that while I'm grinding, I'm careful not to overheat the metal, taking a little bit at a time and constantly keeping it cool by immersing it in water between grinding. So here's the shape of the knife so far. I really like the way this handle feels. It's nice and comfy. I can get a pretty good grip on it. So I'm going to start by grinding a roughly 45-degree angle until both sides meet, and then I can start increasing the height of my bevel. So now I'm going to clean up the rest of the knife. So at this point, I'm pretty much done with sanding. I discovered a little bit of a deep scratch here that I just couldn't get out through grinding. So what I'm going to do is put a little back bevel on here, going from about here down to the tip. And that'll actually help this tip for slicing and doing fine work. So now that I've finished sanding, it's time for the heat treat. So since the file is already hard, I'm just going to temper it back a little bit. So I've got my oven set to 400 degrees and I'm going to leave it in for about half an hour to an hour, or until the edge turns a nice golden color. I don't want it to get any darker than that because then the edge is going to become really soft. So it's been about an hour. And the blade is a nice golden color. So that'll be a nice hardness for this knife. Alright, so now I'm just going to sand off the scale and just give it a once over. It should be all done. So here it is, all finished up. I really like how it turned out. You can see right here, this file was at some point used to file some copper, and the copper's still stuck in there. It's actually a really neat effect. I might try and do that purposefully next time. But here it is. You can see I almost managed a hollow grind, just a really light hollow grind on both sides of this. And that's just from using the flap wheel on the bench grinder, which is honestly one of my favorite tools. And this is just done with that 80 grit abrasive. I haven't gone any higher, and I haven't hand sanded. So here it is, just a quick little knife. The only heat treating we have to do is put it in the oven and temper it back a little bit. I hope you enjoyed making this knife with me today. If you have any suggestions for other things you'd like to see me build, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this, be sure to check out my channel for other videos like this, and I've also written several books on different topics, including one on knife making, and you can check those out. I'll put a link in the description below. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!